my name is Emily.
Hi, my name is Andrew.
Hi, my name is Olivia. What feels like 4 short years ago, my oldest brother Justin was tragically killed at the age of 28 years old. Justin was a loud and boisterous guy. He talked loud, he laughed loud, and you always knew when he was in the room. Justin was very appreciative. He didn't need much. He didn't need the nicest shoes and the nicest car. As long as he had shoes on his feet and a way to get to work, he was just fine. I remember for my 13th birthday, I wanted a new iPhone, and I had gotten one, so we gave my old bright blue slide phone to Justin. You should have seen his face. He was so happy he finally had a phone with a keyboard on it. Here I am, at 13 years old, giving my brother, who's nearly 15 years older than me, my old hand-me-down phone. This made me realize how grateful I am for the things I had in my life. Also, I was the last person in my family that got to talk to Justin. He called me on my 14th birthday just to wish me a happy birthday, and 1 short month later he passed away. While at his funeral, his best friend shared with my family and I something that we didn't know about him. He would cash his paychecks and go right to the grocery store and make sandwiches and then deliver them to the homeless on the streets of St. Paul, Minnesota. This inspired me. My brother didn't have much to begin with, and he was giving what little he had to helping the homeless. From this point on, I knew I wanted to make a difference. So I created Just Live. Just Live is a combination of my name and my brother's name. I wanted to do exactly what Justin did, help the homeless. So I went to the grocery store, I made sandwiches, and I delivered them to the homeless on the streets of Houston. And after, I turned Just Live into the DECA Community Service Project, found amazing partners to help share this experience with me. And overall, this is a project to help the homeless and to follow my brother's footsteps, and I hope he's looking down with a smile on his face.
Homelessness is a major problem in Houston. Since Hurricane Harvey, our mission to fight homelessness has become even more imperative. When the Category 4 hurricane struck, it caused widespread flooding and damage across the entire Houston metropolitan area. 1 year later, many people are still living in trailers and shelters, desperately waiting for a home. Since Hurricane Harvey, the number of homeless people has significantly increased and is evident when Olivia, Andrew, and I deliver sandwiches on the streets of Houston. We are determined to continue raising awareness about homelessness in hopes that one day it will be eradicated.
Undoubtedly, the purpose of a nonprofit organization is to maintain health, welfare, and protection for those suffering from difficult circumstances. Covenant House is an organization committed to helping homeless youth all around the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. We are here today to share the opportunity we had to serve our local branch here in Houston, Texas, founded in 1983. At this sanctuary, every resident has a story. These kids are forced out of their homes by abandonment, abuse, and instability. Open 24/7, Covenant House is devoted to helping youth by providing residential programs, outreach activities, counseling, religious and educational services, and job skills programs. Covenant House asks and answers the difficult questions such as, what are long-term solutions and how can we impact their future? When Olivia, Emily, and I volunteered to distribute food and supplies to the greater Houston homeless population, we witnessed the true impact Covenant House Texas has and what sets them apart from any other homeless shelter. Covenant House is a place where struggling youth can go to get better. It's their salvation.
We established some goals that help lead to a successful project. To educate the community about ways to help the homeless, to get to know the residents at the Covenant House on a personal level, to aid the homeless on the streets, and to raise at least $1,500 from sponsors for Just Live Homeless.
The purpose of our project is to make a difference. I know that seems like a simple statement, but to us it's something much bigger. At first, we thought we were just going to be making a difference in the lives of the homeless, but after we started volunteering and working with the Covenant House, we realized the tremendous impact that it had on us as well. Before, we thought that you could prevent homelessness, that they could get a job and get off of the streets, but it's not that simple. A lot of homeless people do have jobs, but it's not enough. And now, we are more aware of why people become homeless. Our purpose was to make a difference, and we did so through our following events: Just Live Jewelry, Buy Coffee, Just Live Homeless, and Just Live and Give.
Throughout the past 3 years, we have facilitated activities which have brought awareness to the organization within our community and contributed to our overall service experience. Last year, as a fundraiser, we held Cookies for a Cause, where we sold cookies at school and 50% of the proceeds went towards the Covenant House. In lieu of the holiday season being a particularly hard time for the homeless, we made 6 Just Live holiday bags and distributed them to the 6 homeless students at our school. We also made drink coasters to promote Just Live and rewarded our teachers for their endless hard work. Our ongoing projects are Just Live and Give, Just Live Jewelry, and Just Live Homeless.
Just Live Jewelry is jewelry made by the 3 of us. It includes different bracelets and necklaces, and we're wearing here some today. We sell this jewelry, and 50% of the proceeds go to the Covenant House. We primarily sell the jewelry at school to our friends and peers, but in the past, we have sold at 2 farmers markets in our neighborhood and various school functions. Last year, at our DECA district, we got permission and set up a table, and we were able to sell our jewelry there. We were spreading awareness and raising money for the Covenant House to our entire DECA district. And we were able to do the same again this year. Also, this year, we created a social media account for Just Live Jewelry. We have 58 followers, and we have had over 2,000 views and engagement on our profile. Through social media, we're able to sell our jewelry and spread awareness of homelessness to possibly the entire United States. Just Live Jewelry is an ongoing activity, and up to date, we have raised a total of $550 to donate to the Covenant House. Through our different methods of selling jewelry, we are spreading awareness and raising money for the Covenant House. Make a wish, take a chance, make a change is the quote written on every wish bracelet because this is the quote that we represent throughout our project.
Buy a coffee is just another way for us to raise money for the Covenant House. Our DECA chapter started a coffee bar named Drip Point, and it instantly became a hot commodity. On Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, DECA members sell hot coffee and hot chocolate to the students at our school. On February 1st, 4th, and 6th, Olivia, Andrew, and I worked Drip Point, and 60% of the proceeds were donated to the Covenant House. We were able to raise $45 by selling over 40 hot coffees and 40 hot chocolates. Tweets about Covenant House and Drip Point that week were viewed over 3,300 times. Buy a Coffee allows not only our chapter, but our entire school to give back.
It brings me great joy to be able to share about this year's main event. Just Live Homeless is an interactive way for us and our chapter to experience the hardships that are faced each day by homeless youth. Students set goals of how long they can realistically stay homeless, and for each hour spent, they would get pledges from sponsors. Students are not allowed to utilize electronics, bring extra food or snacks, or leave the premises unless they can't commit to the entire project. All the proceeds raised from the pledges would go towards the Covenant House to help cover food and utility expenses. We hoped we entered a cold, sleepless, hunger-filled night so we could experience a very small sneak peek of what homeless youth go through. We postponed this event initially, and then Analyzing data from the past years, we projected 1,500 in donations. This experience will continue to solidify our understanding that the homeless population undergo very difficult circumstances, and it is our hope that we would be able to put ourselves in the shoes of these vulnerable individuals.
Just Live and Give is a way to volunteer and get to know the residents of the Covenant House personally. Just Live and Give is also called Outreach, and the outreach coordinator at the Covenant House is Mr. Mike. During outreach, we make sandwiches with the residents at the Covenant House, and we all work together to make bags filled with sandwiches, chips, and a fruit. We then go into the Covenant House van, and Mr. Mike drives us around different areas of Houston, and we deliver the bags to the homeless on the streets. Outreach is one of our favorite parts because we get to be directly involved at the Covenant House and form relationships with the residents.
Just Live and Give gives us opportunity to meet and get to know the residents at the Covenant House. One resident that really touched all of our hearts is An. She was delivering sandwiches with us, and we got the chance to learn about how she ended up at the Covenant House. An moved here from Korea at the age of 10 and quickly became accustomed to the American way of life. Unfortunately, she made friends that influenced her to do terrible things, such as drugs. And when her mom found out, she was kicked out of her house and was left wandering the streets hopelessly. When she heard about the Covenant House, she called Mr. Mike Blockson and begged him to come pick her up. Through the Covenant House program, she has been able to turn her life around and start on a new and improved path. After many times of outreach, one day she wasn't there. Mr. Mike assured us that she was okay and was successfully living on her own. Little did we know we were going to see her again. Olivia and I were shopping in Houston when we heard a familiar voice. We turned around and realized it was On. When we approached her, at first she didn't recognize us, but we mentioned the Covenant House. She got so emotional and so excited to see us again. During our conversation, we learned that she's living in an apartment with her boyfriend and working 2 jobs, and she was so excited because soon she's going to be upgrading to an even larger apartment. On mentioned that she wanted to come back to the Covenant House and do outreach with us again, and we look forward to seeing her there soon. We are so blessed to form relationships with the residents at the Covenant House as we did with On.
Another time that we really connected during outreach was when we met Blessing. One night, Mr. Mike brought us to a couple's apartment who was expecting a baby. We dropped off blankets, bathroom essentials, and baby supplies. We met the couple and got to learn their story. Before moving into their apartment, the couple was homeless for 5 years. The mother, Misty, has had 10 children of her own, and each one was taken from her because she was on drugs. She was pregnant and she was determined to keep her baby. In their apartment, at the time, there was no bed, sofa, or other important things needed to take care of a child. But at the end of our stay, we prayed together and we wished them well in the future. About a month later, we returned to the Covenant House and we returned to the couple's apartment. And Misty had given birth to her child. His name was Blessing. Blessing was a beautiful and healthy baby boy. And they had plenty of things needed to take care of him. Recently, though, we went to the Covenant House and Mr. Mike told us that Blessing had been taken away from his mother. But we were happy to hear that she is currently taking the appropriate steps to getting him back. Experiences like these are rare. Not everyone gets to see and hear what we do when we go to outreach. We're so glad we're able to have this opportunity to meet amazing people like we met Blessing.
A few short weeks ago at the Covenant House, Olivia, Emily, and I met a fellow senior that attends a school in Fort Bend County. His name was Kyle. Kyle lived with his stepdad and mother. A couple months ago, Kyle's mother passed away of a severe heart attack. As a coping mechanism, Kyle's stepdad turned to alcohol, falling deeper and deeper into the clutches of the addiction. His stepdad started to physically abuse Kyle and blamed him for the tragic death of his mother. Kyle decided that he had had enough and reached out to Child Protective Services. Because he was 18, CPS turned him away and simply wished him luck. He began staying with his friend for a while, and thinking long-term, his friend told him about the Covenant House. Kyle was then dropped off by his friend, and since then has been living at the Covenant House and participates in outreach with us. In the midst of all of this, Kyle continues to maintain his rank as number 7 in his senior class and plans to attend Duke University in the fall. We hope to keep seeing Kyle on outreach trips and look forward to him achieving his dreams as a biomedical engineer. The advantages of this particular fight against youth homelessness are to raise awareness, educate, volunteer, and offer support. Volunteering offers help to those in need, and in return, we can all feel a sense of satisfaction. To be able to connect with an array of people with juxtaposing circumstances from our own is the biggest benefit. Talking with these young adults not much older than us, we educate ourselves by hearing their matchless struggles while also witnessing their adversity. We are so thankful for being able to make the smallest change within the hearts of the homeless youth across Houston. To also be able to educate our chapter and our community about the significance of youth homelessness and the experiences they have to go through is beyond rewarding for this team.
Make a wish, take a chance, make a change. Olivia, Andrew, and I made a wish to fight homelessness, took a chance and went to the Covenant House, and are making positive changes in the lives of the homeless and ourselves. We are following in Justin's footsteps and making a difference one life at a time. This is going to be our 3rd year doing Just Live and raising money for the Covenant House. We are dedicated, committed, and passionate about this project. For us, the fight does not stop here. The sky is the limit, and we look forward to Just Live's continued growth and success in honor of Justin Tolkien. Thank you.